What if I told you there was a secret weapon that could turn the tide of any battle in your favor? What if I also told you that this weapon was a brilliant general who led armies to victory with unmatched skill and precision? And what if I added that this general was a Carthaginian, an enemy of Rome? Sounds too good to be true, but it's 100% factual. His name was Hannibal Barca, and he is considered by many to be the greatest general in history. Hannibal's story began in 247 BC in the city of Carthage. From a young age, he displayed exceptional skills in military strategy and tactics. His father, Hannibal Barca, was a general in the Carthaginian army, and he recognized his son's abilities early on. When Hannibal was just 9 years old, he made him swear an oath to be his enemy for life. But who was Rome to Hannibal? In order to understand this, we must go back to the beginning of the Second Punic War. At that time, Rome was at war with Carthage and had already conquered many of its territories. But Hannibal's father saw that despite Rome's size and power, it was vulnerable to attack from the rear. So he decided to do something crazy. He took a small group of soldiers and crossed the Alps into Italy. There, he began to harass the Romans, winning several battles against them. However, he was eventually defeated and killed, leaving Hannibal to continue the fight against Rome. And oh, how he did so. With cunning and bravery, Hannibal led his armies across the Alps, surprising the Romans and defeating them in several major battles, including the Battle of the Trebia and the Battle of Lake Trasandum. His victories were so spectacular that the Romans were demoralized and desperate for a way to stop him. This is when Hannibal made one of the most famous blunders in military history. You see, Hannibal had a secret weapon, an elite group of soldiers called the Immortals. They were the best of the best, and they followed him into battle wherever he went. But he made a terrible mistake when he left them behind. While he went to inspect the Roman camp, the Immortals, seeing that their general was gone, panicked and attacked the nearest Roman soldiers. This caused confusion and chaos in the Carthaginian ranks, and the Romans took advantage of it to regroup and counter. Hannibal's army was defeated, and he himself barely escaped with his life. Despite this defeat, Hannibal continued to harass the Romans and avoid their armies. He knew that he couldn't defeat them in open battle, so he resorted to guerrilla tactics. This led to the Romans accusing him of being a coward and avoiding a decisive battle. But Hannibal's strategy worked. He kept control of the Italian peninsula for another 5 years, during which time he inflicted heavy casualties on the Romans. In the end, Hannibal was betrayed by his allies and captured by the Romans. They brought him to Rome as a prisoner, where he was forced to witness the destruction of his homeland. Hannibal spent his last years in captivity writing military treatises and training Roman generals in the art of war. He died in 183 BC at the age of 63, having spent more than half of his life fighting against Rome. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.